got invited to the weekend alpha test for the new vampire battle royale game being developed by Shark Mob, and I sadly only got to play for a few hours one day since I had other obligations that I had made during that time, because I didn't get the alpha invite until the day of the alpha. I had pre-signed up and waited, and I checked my email every day for a week. No email inviting me to the alpha. I saw other influencers or people who are big on the WOD scene getting their invites and saying that they were going to stream. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just not lucky. So the day of, I was getting ready to go out, I checked my email, and there is the invite, and I was like, oh, I gotta make time for this, but I made obligations. So my time with the game was very limited. I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer, so anything I say, maybe it's biased, it probably will be biased and skewed, and not what other people's experiences could be with this game. This game is going to be free to play, so, if you want to try it, just have at it. Don't let my review of this sway you one way or another, So with that, let's get into it. The menu and UI are pretty straightforward, I found. I first went into the menu to mess with the sensitivity since the default one for aiming was a bit too high for my liking. Easy enough fix. However, one of the controls to slide is to press the left control key while holding shift, and my hands are fairly small, and as such, I usually cannot with ease hit the left control key. This has been a problem with other games I've played, other battle royales, other just in general games where you have to stealth, and usually that is the stealth key, or Warframe where that is also a crouch key that people use for movement. So I always rebind that key usually to a mouse key, like one of my mouse keys, or mouse 4 or mouse 5. I just find it easier that way. So, I didn't see an option for that though. When I was looking through the key bindings, I could see what the key bindings were set to and what they allowed you to do, but I didn't see an option to change the key bindings. So I don't know if this is going to be a option in the release, or if it's a user error and I messed up where I was just being dumb and I couldn't figure things out. But usually I feel like it's pretty straightforward to change key bindings, and I didn't see that in the menu, so fair warning with that there. The first thing I was brought into upon loading and making an account was the tutorial. And I found it to be an okay tutorial. Not super exciting time, mostly just covering the basics of movements from the WASD keys, how to jump, crouch, and slide, And at one point, you do get to try out all the different weapons and get a feel for them and see what different items there are, like armor and healing. It was overall pretty positive. However, I did notice while watching someone stream on Twitch that they were able to quickly access their inventory, they had a quick wheel for items. I still don't know how to do this since the tutorial never really explained it. Maybe I'm just dumb and I missed it. I don't know, it could be my error. But during my games, I would have to go through the menu system of opening my inventory and then moving my mouse to select what I wanted and clicking on it. And that, it's just quicker to have the wheel, right? So I would always have to make sure I'm safe before I would go into the menu because I was afraid someone would sneak up on me. I hope that maybe that could be better explained if they ever revise the tutorial, or I don't know, I guess I should just try to figure shit out. That's what I should honestly do. Also though, if you're planning on bringing someone into this to try this game and they're not experienced with playing on a mouse and keyboard, this tutorial will not be that helpful. It will just basically cover the basic movement meant for someone who is used to WASD and mouse and keyboarding basically on a PC. I don't know how it is for console. I don't play on console, so that'll have to be someone else's experience to divulge into. That basically covers the tutorial for me though. Once I was out of the tutorial, I decided to queue up for my first match, going once again into the menu mode and seeing if there were any voice options. I don't really like voice chat in online games, disclaimer here, due to harassment I have personally faced in the past, and generally I just prefer to turn it off. Even in Overwatch, I will opt out to not going to that voice chat. I'm over it. So to my very happy surprise, I did find no option to mess with voice things. So I was like, I guess there's no voice chat right now. So yeah, there is no voice chat. There wasn't any indication that someone could hear me as I was streaming and talking to my boyfriend over the stream that I uploaded. That's not there. So big props to that if that is the case upon launch. I'm unsure, maybe they'll add it in, but for the alpha, there were no open mics or voice chat. I did not play the group play, so maybe there's voice chat in that, but again, I didn't see any options in the menu, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there's no obligation for voice chat due to there being a pinging system, much like Apex. So I was ready to go, got into my first game, and I was super disoriented. But I'm not used to playing battle royales, so that might be why I was really uncomfortable with it at first and still struggled with later matches and games. I was not good, guys. I think my first game was actually probably my best game, and that's because my boyfriend had time to watch and kind of coach me. He's the FPS player in this relationship. I'm like the tabletop nerd RPG player in this relationship. We're a bit different, but you know, I was very grateful for him for helping me. So the movement of the characters, it feels fine enough and it was fluid. Climbing up buildings was actually kind of tons of fun. I like the way they did that. Comparatively to Bloodlines 2, when you can see in the few gameplay trailers, like the Christmas one, yeah, the climbing up the building looked really clunky. So I don't know if they're going to be able to, like, I doubt it because this is made by Sharkmob, and I don't know who the new developer, because Heartsuit Labs is no longer the developer of Vampire the Bloodlines Masquerade 2. That's not happening anymore. So I don't know if the new developer is going to make whole new assets and animations, or I doubt it because there's probably so much work already poured into this, so we're still probably going to get the same assets, animations. Maybe they'll get tweaked to be better, I'm not sure, but we're definitely going to be getting the same engine and everything. But hopefully they can fix that, because I will say, yeah, climbing up buildings here was fun, and it looked good. However, the jumping around on the rooftop fighting was a bit awkward for me, and I found myself messing up jumps even when I wasn't in combat. So I'd fall off things while trying to climb up them, and yeah, really clunky for me. But again, that might be me not used to the movements. I don't know, I'm not sure. It was clunky though. But yeah, I did struggle early on, but I kept going, and I did feel myself progressively getting a bit more used to it. The UI was pretty straightforward, I'd say, in the match. To the left, you would have your health, and if you find armor, it would show you how much armor you had left before you were back to normal health bars. To the right-hand side, you had your weapons and ammo count for which weapon you were going to use. I found, though, the mouse wheel option where you could mouse wheel to switch weapons didn't quite work the way I thought it would. I would try to switch to my melee weapon, and it would never switch to it. It would just switch between the two ranged. So then I would just press the key, because they had numbered keys for the weapons 1, 2, and 3. So I would just press the key as associating with the melee weapon. And that's how I would switch to melee. So that was a little clunky for me too. Again, I'm not sure if I was effing something up or just doing something wrong. So that was a big kind of moment for me. There is a blood resonance mechanic, same as V5's, I believe, where the blood resonance got introduced. So certain resonance give buffs for things, and I think you can stack up to 3 of the same resonance to buff yourself. But I didn't really like how tiny that information is at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. It would be really small. So I would sometimes even forget which resources I've gotten due to hardly looking down there, you know? So I'm not sure what all of them are even, because I only really ran into 2, and those were, one was it buffed my melee, and I kind of forget what the other did. It was pink, and I think it, I can't say what it did. I probably, if I relook over the footage when I edit this, I'll see what it does, and you'll see, and maybe I'll put in a little edit there. But yeah, I don't even remember while I'm reading off what I wrote down. I don't remember what the resonances all are. So sorry about that. I will definitely try to edit in some information maybe while I make this video. So for my first match, the one I was able to stream, I sat in queue for about 3 minutes, and that wasn't too bad of a wait time. But later on in the evening, when I got back home after I had spent the day out doing what I had priorly planned, I tried it playing later, and it was probably around 11 p.m. Pacific time, my time. And I would sit waiting for a game for up to 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's an alpha, so there's not that many players, so I can't say for certain what queue times will be like once this launches. I definitely imagine more populated, especially in like the first month of this launch. There will probably be games popping like crazy. So I'm not really gonna put that in as a con or a bad thing. It's just something I noticed while in the alpha. On to something I wanted to talk about here, which is kind of like, this is, I guess, the balancing section of this review here. Is there's a mechanic you can use in the game to find weapons and items. You press X to activate your senses. I'm not sure what it's exactly called. I believe it's senses. And I'm not sure how this worked, so I might be totally blown smoke. But I believe if another player is near you while you use this power, and maybe if they use their vampiric powers or do something to alert like things in the area, I believe you are able to see them through walls. I did see a few people through walls, and I was sure I didn't put up, like, because one of the classes lets you see through walls. I don't think I put up any of that stuff, so I was like just looking for weapons, and I saw this guy through the wall on the other side of a building, and I was able to turn and run because he would have saw me down on the ground after he got to the top, and I was like, I don't want him to have height advantage. So that was a thing. I do know that if you use your vampiric powers yourself or feed in front of NPCs, players can get alerted to you. NPCs will freak out and run and scream, so, you know, if players come by in the area, they'll see that. Car alarms will go off if you jump on top of cars, which other players can hear. And there are NPC police. I believe they will shoot at your characters if you engage with them, and that will also alert other players that you're in that area. So there are things you need to be careful of. You know, there's a whole masquerade element. It's not super big. It's just basically if you want to be really stealthy and not let other people know you're there, you got to be careful about your environment, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. Not a lot of battle royales really have that element added into them. So there you go. Cool touch right there, I suppose. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I sound so unsure. I'm sorry. It's cool. I liked it. So moving on from that, again, I still think that the Census is a bit OP in the sense of you're able to see people through walls if you're using it and they're nearby. I'm not quite sure, again, how that works, but that balancing is it makes it so one of the classes that I'm about to talk about in my next little bit here, you know, like, it's kind of obsolete. Because here we go, there are 6 classes. I believe there's only 3 clans though, so there's 2 Brewhog classes that do... I can't even remember, I didn't really play them. I didn't see a lot of people playing them, to be fair, so I have a feeling that the Brewhog classes are not that popular to play. What I did see a lot of were the 2 Nosferatu classes and the 2 Toreador classes. I'm not sure if they plan on adding any more classes or clans to the game. Probably seems likely since other battle royales do add things. But yeah, in my opinion, I find that the Brewhog classes were probably more on the weaker side, skill-wise. You really want self-sustain in this game. So that's why I'm going to say the Toreador class with the self-heal, or the one that can heal allies, is probably one of the strongest classes that I saw, and I did see a lot of people playing them. The Nosferatu class has a wall hack ability that lets them see, you know, anyone that walks into that range of the bubble. It's basically a bubble. Through walls, a stealth ability, but people can still track and reveal you in it, so I found that really underwhelming. And poisonous gas ability, if someone steps on and triggers, it does do damage and alerts the trap that is being tripped, you know, to the person who set it. I believe that's how it works. Again, I didn't really go over this in depth, so this is a bare minimum of my experience type of review. This is not an in-depth one. I would go find another video for that. This is just casual player review. As I said though, the Toreador classes had a blind CC ability, a movement ability that looks like a dash, and a self-sustain ability. And I saw a lot of players not really playing the Brewhog class, so I can't really recall what they did. I believe they have a ground slam that does knock up, which is CC, but people aren't on the ground very much in this game. They're usually on the roofs and fighting and, you know, on top of the roof. So I don't know how useful that ground pound is going to be. They also have an ability, I believe, to kind of push themselves so they can, like, do a cool, like, further jump. So that could be fun. That could be, you know, some interesting play style there. But overall, balancing issues need to be tweaked in this game. The Toreadors and the Nosferatu were the most played, like, classes overall, and I think there's a reason for that. The wall hacking was nice with the Nosferatu, even the gas is nice. The stealth, as I said, it was a bit underwhelming with Nosferatu since people can track you in it. You're not really stealthed. And then Toreador, just with the self-sustain, it's crazy. It's crazy good, essentially. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of people probably playing that Toreador class. Character customization was kind of fun, I noticed. So every class, you know, like one's female, one's male. But if you go further into customizing the character, the really cool thing is you can play as male or female on any class. So there's like 2 Nosferatus, 2 Toreadors, 2 Brewhaws, and they both have just kind of slightly different skills, but they're, you know, the same clan. So you just go in there, change all of them to girls, change all of them to dudes, mix them up, mix and match, do whatever you want. I really thought that was cool. However, sadly, I would say that the customization was a bit limited for me. It's basically you can make every character look the same, except for the Nosferatus, of course. But there wasn't a lot of options, and I'm sure that there's going to be a cash shop, because Shark Mob is owned by Tencent. or I believe like is a parent organization of them. I'm not sure, but I know Tencent's involved in there. And yeah, there's definitely going to be microtransactions to buy customization for characters and level up and like unlock them. So that's definitely going to be part of it. I don't know how I feel about that. There's definitely going to be a cash shop though. It's pretty obvious it's going to have a cash grab. But yeah, the character customization was fun. It was okay. Definitely needs more fleshing out, more options, and I'm sure that they'll add more for all of us to spend our lovely money on. And that's really all I have to say on the game so far. I'm hoping I get into another test, and if I do, I'll do a better review of this. I promise I will. Or I'll, be able to stream it more. But yeah, I was really caught off guard by the alpha invite. It sucks that I didn't get it until the day of, and I didn't think I was going to get in. So again, I had made plans all weekend. I was planning on hanging out with people. I was like, all right, I'll spend my weekend doing fun stuff. I did do fun stuff. The game was fun. I will say, it's a fun game. I wasn't super invested in it, but I don't play a lot of battle royales, so that might affect my playtime with this. My boyfriend seemed a bit meh about it himself. He was like, yeah, I'll play if you play. But he's not super into battle royales either. The only one he actually really enjoyed was Apex, out of all the ones we really played. So, not quite sure, about that part of it, but yeah. I had fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a like if you did, and if you want to see more content by me, please subscribe. And as always,
Maggots love you, but not as much as I do. Love, your malicious corpse.
Haven't done that in a while. Also, I know, I gotta work on Shadows of New York. I'm almost done with that, and I didn't finish, and I'm so sorry. I've just dropped it. I will get back into it. I will. I promise. Bye-bye!